Meat City, baby.
Hello and welcome back to Meat City Gaming. JD here with another 1000 Gamerscore report. In this video, we're going to discuss the Pillars of Eternity Complete Edition. This game is currently available on Game Pass for free. It's not quite a prequel. It came out before Avowed, and it takes place in the same universe or world as Avowed. And Avowed came out pretty recently. I absolutely loved playing that game, and then found out about these other games that are set in that same world, in that same universe and backstory, and I wanted to give them a try as well. So this is the first game chronologically, Pillars of Eternity, and it is a very old school RPG type game. It gives me like Diablo 2 vibes, but instead of a single character, you have a party of 6, and you have the ability to pause combat and issue commands to your party before hitting resume. So not quite the same as Diablo 2, but a similar view and vibe, and from back in those kind of days. Right out of the gate, I don't want to bury the lead here. This game, from an achievement standpoint, is terrible. It is a buggy, broken mess. Don't do it. Stay away from this game. If you are a completionist, if you jump into a game and you want to finish games that you start, I will warn you heavily away from this game, because the achievements on their face, they're very easy, but the game, it's so old, and it's like a remake of an old computer game that's been brought to Xbox, and it's just broken and buggy. We'll talk about it a little bit in terms of the details as I get into the video here, but at the top, I want you to know this is one that you should avoid solely because of the condition of the game and how broken and buggy it is. As the name implies, this is the complete edition of the game. It has all of the DLC that ever came out already bundled in, and that's all factored into the achievements. So there are 26 achievements to give you that 1000 gamer score. The DLC is pushed into those achievements, and so you don't have to worry about any new content coming down the road later to mess up your perfect score. If you can get all of these achievements, you're good to go. You'll have the 1000, and you'll be able to put this one up on the shelf. What do we need to do to get that 1000 gamer score? It's mostly straightforward. Play through the game, go everywhere, do most of everything. You have to hunt down and kill a bunch of dragons that are scattered throughout different places in the game, which is a bit of a fight and a journey to get there. You have to visit all the locations, as I said, and you'll have to just dabble very lightly in the various crafting mechanics that are available in the game. There are no difficulty achievements, difficulty-based achievements. You don't have to play the game on normal to unlock hard, and then play it on hard to get an achievement, and then play it on hardest to get an achievement. There are various difficulty modes, but you can set it to the easiest one, to the story mode, and get all of the achievements playing just on that one difficulty. There are no collectibles here to hunt and gather, and there is no online/PvP component to the game, solely a single-player offline experience. For the number of playthroughs required, it should technically be 2 playthroughs, but the one time the bug works in your favor is here, and you can technically do it in 1. It's probably not going to work out that way, but technically it's possible. So there is an achievement in the game that requires you to stay under 175 total kills throughout the playthrough. Finish the game with under 175 total kills. That's really tough to do because there are a lot of missions in the game that require combat in order to complete them, and you need to do missions or quests to get XP and to level up. That's the main source of how you level up your character. It's also how you get loot, and loot is how you get money. And so by avoiding combat, you're making the playthrough very difficult just on its face. In addition, there aren't many mechanics to avoid combat. You can go into stealth and you can avoid some combat, but you need to know the maps really well, because if there's some tight spaces, and if you get seen in stealth and you get engaged in combat, it's very difficult to break that aggro and stop the combat. Sometimes you can run far enough away to lose aggro and reset. However, most times you can't. A lot of the maps are very small and tight, and if an enemy engages you, they're going to chase you down and make you kill them, and you'll have to do that because you can't do things like interact with changing levels, changing floors, going to a different map. You can't do things like that to break combat like you would in some other games. So if you get stuck in combat, you'll have to see it through most of the time, and you're going to run up your kill counters. The other achievement is Super Murderer, and that requires that you kill over 1,200 enemies throughout the playthrough. So you can see the contradiction. How do you kill less than 175 and over 1,200 in one playthrough? You can't. You need one playthrough for both. However, the way the bug works, one of the main bugs that works in this game, when your game closes with a hard close, with a crash, or with a power down, or a reset, or something like that, the counters in the game for the achievements get reset. So what you can do is build up to over 1,200 kills, put down a save very close to the end of the game, finish the game, you'll get your Super Murderer achievement, then close the game, shut down your Xbox, restart, reload that save. Now the counter, according to what the game thinks, is 0. Do those last 1 or 2 combats, you'll be way under 175, and from that same save file, you'll also be able to get the relative pacifism achievement. However, because of the bug in the game, it is very unlikely that you'll get everything done in one go. So as I said, the main reason that the achievements are bugged and broken, when the game closes, the counters that were going on related to any of the achievements get reset. And that wouldn't be so bad on its own. Xbox has the built-in quick resume feature, so just don't ever shut down your game and you're good to go, right? Just keep it saved, keep it powered on, have your Xbox set to go to sleep rather than shut down, no problem, right? Unfortunately, the other part is the game crashes all the time. Anytime you go into a loading area and switch from one map to another map, which happens all the time, remember, you need to go everywhere and visit all the locations. There's over 150 of them. Every time you load a map, there's a chance that the game crashes. Every time you complete a quest, there's a chance that the game crashes. It crashes all the time. So you could be at 1,190 kills and you're like 2 screens away from the final boss and you're all set up and you're gonna get your achievement. Crash, that whole run is gone. You need to start over from a fresh save file with a fresh character and go all the way through and get those 1,200 kills again and hope the game doesn't crash. So it's the high number of things that are needed without a crash that makes these achievements so difficult to do, and we'll explain in a little more detail as we go here. For the hardest achievement in the game, I'm going to give you a couple of these based on the different categories. There's the hardest fight in the game, which is tied to an achievement. This is Among the Moss and Peat. This is for 30 gamer score, and it's to defeat the enemy that's in the bog area. This is one of the DLC kind of add-ins that's built into the game. It's basically a double dragon fight. So there's a lot of dragons that are the most powerful enemies in various locations. It's kind of like finish diving through the levels of this dungeon and there's a dragon at the bottom. Finish advancing through this area and get to the top of the mountain and there's a dragon there. And those are very difficult fights. Well, this fight requires 2 dragons at the same time with a mage helping them in support. It is very difficult even on the easiest difficulty, but it's certainly doable. The actual hardest achievement in the game, if you're pretending that there's no bugs, just the one that on its face would be the most difficult, it is that relative pacifism, as I mentioned earlier. Getting through the game with so few kills and still having the money that you need to progress, the levels and the experience to make your character more powerful to finish the end game. Very, very tough to do. Avoiding combat, going into stealth, knowing the maps. You have to basically run solo with no party members, put all these points into stealth, which don't help you do a lot of the other things that are necessary to advance the game. It's really tough. And then you have this constant counter. Every time there is a forced combat, that counter goes up and up and up. And oh man, am I going to be able to get to the end of the game? I'm at 160, I'm at 170, am I going to get there? It can be very stressful. And if you go over, then you're done and you have to go back and do another run. However, because of the bug, this is actually trivial. Have a save close to the end of the game, crash the game, close it out, reload your save, boom, you will get this one for free in actuality. So the hardest achievement actually in the game in its current state with the bugs and with the problems is Explorer. And as I mentioned, Explorer requires you to go to every map or location in the base game. The DLC is kind of the White March, that's what they call it, those areas. So you don't have to go there, but you have to go everywhere in the base game, and it's over 150 locations. And again, on its face, that's not difficult. Just travel to the locations, take it step by step and go through. Not difficult, but it is a bit of an admin headache. Keep a list of 150 and cross them out and make sure you don't miss one. And oh, I got to the end, I didn't get the achievement. Where did I miss? How did I right? Like, so administratively, it's a headache, but the big problem here is the bug. Every time you're loading into a map could be the time that the game crashes. So you could be right near the end of the game and you just need those last couple of locations and you go to load in and it's a crash. That is a full restart. Whole run has to go all over again. I did try once to, when my game had crashed and I reloaded a save and I went to all the locations again and it didn't work. It had to be like freshly discovering them for the first time from a new save file. So that's a 8 to 10 hour commitment, depending on how well you know the game and how quickly you're able to move through things. And it can crash at any time. So super frustrating and super difficult to do through no fault of your own, just because of the buggy state that the game is in. The most annoying achievement in the game, this is a pretty easy pick for me. It's called the Storied Adventurer. You get 75 Gamerscore, and in order to unlock this, you have to complete 5 different difficulties of stronghold adventures. So they are minor, average, major, grand, and legendary. And this is RNG on top of game crashes, which just makes this an absolute annoying nightmare. So in the game progresses what it calls turns. And turns are advanced mostly through quests. When you get to certain milestones in a quest or when you get to certain quest completions, the game says, okay, that was a turn. And there's a tracker for it. So turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. Every 8 turns in the game, there is a dice roll. And the dice roll is to get an adventure. And the adventure is kind of, it's a side thing, it's an off-screen. You just send one of your characters to do it. You don't actually participate in it. There's nothing that happens on screen. It's just, hey, this adventure came up. And you say, okay, this character who's sitting at home, go do it. And then they go do it. And then 2 turns later, they report back and they say, hey, I did it. Here's your reward, right? So on its face, very simple. However, what you need to do is get one of each of these difficulties. And the difficulties are mostly random. There is a formula involved, and basically it's a characteristic of your stronghold, how much prestige it has, plus these 2 dice rolls that gives you a number. And that number has to be between 0 and 25 means you don't even get an adventure. Between 25 and 50 means you get the first tier, the minor adventure. And so you can manipulate it a little bit by waiting and trying to get the first tier first and the second tier second, and then starting to upgrade your keep so that you're kind of moving the window as you go. But it's still random. So your first one, even if you put no points into your keep, could be a level 3. And so then you have to wait and hope you get a level 1. And on top of all that, it's slow to find. Like 8 turns to get an adventure or to get one pop up is a long time. Like, it's not just, oh, I'm gonna like knock out 8 quests really quick. It can be 30 to 60 minutes to get those 8 turns done. And on top of that, you can't even use like the save and reload trick, because the dice roll happens at turn 1 for turn 8. So then on turn 1, the dice roll and you don't see it. So you don't know. So it's already like baked in. Turn 8 pops up and you say, oh great, it's a level 1 adventure, I got it. As soon as you hit accept, the dice have rolled for the next one, which is 30 to 50 minutes away. And then you get to that one and oh, it turns out it's another turn 1. Well, I can't just save and reload because it's rolled all the way back at the beginning. And so you have to juggle this, like you can put a save spot down and like have a bunch of quests ready for turning. You can shrink that time that you need in order to like try and cycle, but it's not quick, it's not easy. And every time you reload and every time you go back, there's a chance that the game crashes. And if it crashes at any point, all of your progress is lost. You have to start the run over. So if you've got the tier 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you're just waiting on that tier 5, game crashes, guess what? Progress gone, back to the start, try again. So with all that in mind, unfortunately, it pains me to have to give a terrible score to this game. This is a 1 out of 10. It's almost a 0, but I was technically able to do it. I got all of the achievements. It took repeated runs. It took fighting against mechanics and crashes and bugs, and it was an awful, miserable experience I would not recommend to anyone. The game's cool. If you want an old school game and you don't care about achievements, go for it. If you're a completionist, if it's gonna bother you not having an achievement done when you got everything else done, stay away, don't even try. It is a terrible, frustrating experience that ruined my gaming for like a week and a half while I finally clean this up. So stay away, buggy, broken, not worth it. That's going to wrap this one up. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.